Good morning, everyone. Today, the entire Jewish nation is mourning for the tragic death of 6 more innocent, beautiful souls, the 6 bodies of the hostages discovered in Rafah, including an American citizen whose parents traveled the world pleading for the rescue of their child along with all the other hostages. Of course, I'm talking about Hirsch Goldberg Kolin. It's sometimes very eerie to see how the Torah portion literally mirrors current events. In this week's Torah portion, we have a very unique law. The Torah describes what happens when a body, a corpse, is found on the outskirts of a city. And the Torah says that the elders of the city have to take personal responsibility. And they have to come out to the site of the dead corpse, the body. And they have to offer an atonement of an eglah rufa, a calf. And they have to then, literally, these are the words of the Torah, state, our hands did not spill this innocent blood. And our rabbis say, do we think the elders murdered him? God forbid. And the rabbis say, no. What it means to say is, did you do your utmost to protect this person? Maybe this person came through your city and you didn't provide him with food, with provisions, with safety, with lodging, and that led to his death. And if that's the case, you're responsible. And then the Torah uses the term ve'rachatzu et yedehem, they should wash their hands. And we all know the term when people say, I wash my hands from something, I'm innocent. Torah says they have to declare that they were completely innocent. And then the Torah says, they say a prayer to God, Kaper, please God, atone la'amcha Yisrael, for your nation of Israel. And I want to make 2 observations. The first one is, notice that this law is sandwiched between 2 other sets of law. And the 2 laws that precede and follow this law are the laws of warfare. Why is the law of the corpse found on the outside of the city right in the middle of laws of war? And perhaps the answer is that we all know tragically, and we've seen this, that when times of war, when people are dying every day, we sometimes lose our sensitivity to the value of every human life. When you turn on the news every day and you hear another soldier was killed, you start losing some of your sensitivity. And the Torah says, even in the midst of war, never lose your sensitivity to the infinite value of every human life and the tragedy of the loss of every human life, let alone 6 bodies discovered in Gaza. But furthermore, if the elders are innocent, why do they then have to pray, atone for the nation of Israel? What did the nation of Israel do wrong? Asks the Maral, Prague. Maybe the leaders are guilty, but why every Jew in the nation? And the Maral Prague says 5 powerful words that we all know. Kol Yisrael arevim zelazeh. All of the Jewish people are responsible for one another. And therefore, when an innocent Jew is found dead, every Jew needs atonement. We are all guilty because at the end of the day, our brothers and sisters died and we did not get to them in time. Today, of course, there'll be a lot of finger pointing to the elders, to the leaders. Some will blame the Netanyahu government. Some will blame the Biden administration for not rescuing an American citizen, doing their utmost. Some will blame the Red Cross for not looking after the hostages. Some will blame the protesters on the streets who supported Hamas and gave them fuel. Some will blame other international leaders or the UN. And I'm sure there's a lot of blame to go around. But we're all guilty, says the Torah. Kaper la'amcha Yisrael, every Jew has to atone because we had 330 days to rescue them. They were without food, they were without water, they were without provisions, like this week's Torah portion says. And therefore we all have to introspect, we all have to ask for forgiveness. Because at the end of the day, Kol Yisrael arevim zelazeh, we're responsible for one another. And the Jewish people will always triumph over evil. And we will atone. And part of our atonement is that we will, in their memory, carry on even stronger and with more determination to rebuild and to make sure that their deaths were not in vain. There's an article written by a woman by the name of Leah Malamed. She's a midwife at Soroka Hospital. And she says that after October 7th, delivering babies in the maternity ward was very painful. In would come women who survived the attacks of October 7th, some of them grieving for the loss of loved ones. They had to deliver babies of women who were evacuated, who were living in hotels in terrible conditions. And there was so much mixture of sadness and grief and joy in the birth of these babies. And it was a very draining emotionally experience to be a midwife right after October 7th. But she says now it's 11 months later. And what are they witnessing? They're witnessing a baby boom in Israel. They're witnessing the women who after October 7th said, you know what? Our enemies want to kill us. They want to eliminate Jewish life in Israel. We're going to bring more life into Israel. We're witnessing women who together with their husbands made a decision to choose life in the face of death. And now we're delivering babies in a room filled with optimism, with tremendous hope and faith and determination that Am Yisrael Chai. And she tells a particular story about a beautiful couple, an Israeli couple, by the name of Nofar and Amid Gur. And they came in and they gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, Ellie. And she shows a picture in her article of this beautiful couple hugging, kissing, embracing their newborn baby. And then, alongside of that, she shows a picture of a sack of potatoes. And she says, you see, this couple, they are from kibbutz Nir Oz, which was attacked on October 7th. And dozens of members of the community were murdered and taken hostage. And in the face of that, experiencing that, they said, we're going to create life, and brought another beautiful baby girl into this world. And then as a gift to the midwife, the husband, Nofar, shows up with a sack of potatoes and a note. And he says to her, I'm a farmer near Oz, and this is the first season of planting after October 7th. And these are the first crop of potatoes that grew in Nir Oz after October 7th. And I want to give it to you as a gift for helping bring our beautiful baby daughter Ellie into the world. And these two pictures side by side of this couple from kibbutz Nir Oz and the sack of potatoes represent the indomitable spirit of the Jewish people, that as much as they come against us, as much as they may kill and tragically destroy innocent Jewish lives, in the face of that, as a Jewish people, we have hope, we have faith, we have vision and optimism for a brighter future. And we say, we ask for forgiveness for not being able to save our brothers and sisters, but we promise we will never forget them. We will always remember their sacrifice, and we will carry on their legacy of Jewish courage and strength in the face of evil and terror. And we will make sure that we will outlive all our enemies. Have a meaningful day, and let us remember not only the 6 bodies that were discovered, the 6 innocent young men and women, beautiful souls, but all of those who gave their lives al Kiddush Hashem since October 7th. Am Yisrael Chai.